Hello, I'm here to talk with you today about infographics and how we will use infographics in our technical writing course. In this project, I'm asking you to write an extended definition, but I've already chosen the medium for you. We'll be building infographics as a way of extending a definition of a concept that you've chosen. By the end of this lesson, I hope that you will understand what infographics are if you don't already know, and why they're useful for readers. You'll also know the process for completing the extended definition infographic assignment. This is also on your assignment sheet, but I want to just overview the process here as well. And I'll also discuss with you some common areas where students struggle with this assignment so that you can foresee those problems and address them. So first, what are infographics? Infographic means informational graphic. That's combining information and data with graphic or visuals. This helps readers learn information much more quickly and easily. Imagine if you have all of your information in an essay or in a paragraph-based report, it's hard to quickly skim it and learn information. But if you combine information with visuals, then visual learners will be able to learn a lot more. And your generation tends to be visual learners because that's what you're used to interacting with every day. Here are a couple examples of infographics. The first one is about research paper writing and the process. It shows graphics, which are these little cartoon people actually performing the process. And then it has arrows to help you move through the process to show a hierarchy of information and a logical structure. And then each blue box has chunked information so that each step in the process is partitioned out. If you look at the second example about college students seeking information, this one provides a lot of data. This is the more common kind of infographic that you'll see and that you'll probably build in your careers. We have a lot of data here, but it's broken out into pieces. And then we have these little circles that also contain some information. So for example, it says, when searching, students value currency, consensus, brevity, but not scholarly authority. That has very quickly taught us a lot about how college students seek information. So this shows that this particular infographic is a really quick way to get information. I also want to take a look at one of the student samples that I've given you. This is the cryptography sample. This is an excellent student sample. This has everything an infographic needs. It has a basic sentence definition. It has extensions, so this one is the principle of operation. This compares and contrasts encrypted and unencrypted data. And it breaks down the types of cryptography, which is partitioning. So this has a lot going on, but you can easily navigate your way through this document. It's well designed, and it's clear that the student spent a lot of time on it, and this would be very useful for a student in cybersecurity to learn and understand this concept. So that's what infographics are. And as you build your infographic, you'll follow these steps. Your first step will be to choose a concept related to your major, your career, or your interests. You could write about plagiarism. You could pick a specific concept that's used in nursing, engineering, or computer science. Maybe you have a hobby that you like to pursue, where there's a specific concept that it would be useful for you to break that concept down for your reader. But first you have to choose that concept. Once you've chosen a concept, you'll identify an audience, purpose, and place for your infographic. You have to choose this before you can build your infographic, because who will read it, why they'll read it, and where they'll read it will help you make a lot of the decisions in your infographic. For example, if your audience is a very general audience, you'll know you need to use very basic language. But if your audience has a college degree or a high school diploma, you'll know that you can use more advanced language. Once you know your audience, place, and purpose, you could plan your infographic using at least 3 ways of extending a definition, which comes directly from Chapter 20 of your textbook. Sometimes students confuse design concepts such as alignment, proximity, chunking, with ways of extending a definition. But keep in mind that ways of extending a definition are a list of 8 specific things that come from Chapter 20 of your textbook. You need to choose at least 3 of those, and your audience analysis and extension sheet will help you plan those out. Once you've planned your extensions, you can actually apply those extensions by building an infographic, which will incorporate your extensions and define your concept using document design and technical writing guidelines that we learned in Project 1. So you'll be applying alignment, white space, chunking, all of those things we learned about document design. We'll keep applying those in this project, and you'll also apply your technical writing style guidelines, such as being concise, writing an active voice, parallel structure for bullets, etc. So one major student struggle, this is probably the most common one that I see, is that students freak out in the beginning because they say, I'm not a designer. I have no idea how I'll do this project. You don't have to design this from scratch. There are a lot of applications and websites out there that will do the basic design for you. You just have to put content in and choose where that content should go. So pick a strong template and build from there. If you use an infographic builder, such as the ones that I list on the last page of your assignment sheet, those are canva.com, Piktochart. There are also other ones such as Venngage, or even PowerPoint has some infographic builders. Play around with it first. Maybe build an infographic about yourself, or build a invitation for a party or something, just so that you can play around with it first before you start working with it in your project. And remember, you have to apply only the document design concepts that we've learned in Project 1. I'm not expecting you to be a graphic designer. The student sample that I gave you is excellent. Yours doesn't have to be excellent, it just has to apply all of the concepts that we're learning in this course. Another common student struggle is, how do I cite sources in an infographic? You need to think practically. If this is being posted online, it makes sense for your citations to be a link. But if this is intended to be in a textbook or to be printed somewhere, how can you cite your sources? How can you show your reader where you used information without distracting them? And keep in mind that your audience is probably not academic. Most technical writing is intended for lay people, also known as general readers, not academic people. So MLA and APA citation doesn't really make sense here. So instead, consider using footnotes, symbols, links, and look at infographics that you find online. How do they cite? Let's take a quick look at our sample again. They've cited by adding colorful symbols, and where they used that source in their infographic, they've provided those colorful symbols. They could have put numbers here and then used footnotes instead, so had the little number up here by that information. Use whatever makes sense for you, but don't forget to make it clear where you use your sources. Another common struggle, how do I fit all this information in one infographic? If you have a lot of information, think, what do I really need for my audience and my purpose? You don't have to include everything about your concept in one infographic. Try to limit your infographic content to 3 to 4 ways of extending a definition. If you have a section of your infographic and you can't determine what extension from the textbook that is, leave it out. Again, this doesn't have to be a very complete graphic. You just have to have at least 3 extensions. And sometimes including more information than that means that you need to narrow down your audience and purpose a little bit more. Be concise and to the point. You don't want paragraphs in an infographic. Nobody's going to read them. So I want you to have fun with this assignment and be creative. It can definitely be stressful and challenging trying something new if you've never done anything like this. But by the end of the semester, most students say that this was their favorite project. They challenged themselves and they created something that they were proud of. Consider creating something that somebody could actually use. Like maybe you're in the nursing program and you think that the nursing department could use an infographic. Build it and try to give it to them. That might make this a little bit more engaging of a project for you. And of course, if you need help, please ask for help. I can't help you unless you let me know that you need help.